A very good morning to you and welcome to Monday, a summer Monday morning. Guess what? It's raining again. We'll take a look at the weather for you after a check on the traffic this morning. British Rail, Truro and Plymouth, they tell us of no delays. Western National and Plymouth City Bus have no problems on their services. No delays on the Tor Point ferries. At the moment, 3 ferries running there. And on the Tamar Bridge, traffic is flowing freely and fairly light, and 3 lanes open in both directions there. Today's weather forecast from the Pirates. Overcast to start. We have good prospects for a fine sunny day today, which is nice to hear after all the rain we've had of late. 20 centigrade is today's high. If you just tuned in for the first time, the chances are that you're a visitor to the southwest. I'm sure you're going to have a wonderful time, but by the nature of its rugged coastline, Cornwall does behold some serious dangers to the unwary, so tread carefully while walking on the cliffs. Watch and respect the sea and its tides, and you'll return home with lots of fond memories of the southwest. While you're here, I hope you'll let Pirate FM 102 be your companion, with you here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, playing the southwest best music mix. Good morning.
Coast Guard Rescue, St Ives, 76824. Thank you. Go ahead, caller. Clodgy Point. Yeah. 3 people.
My name's Jim Houston. I'm the Operations Officer here at Her Majesty's Coast Guard Maritime Rescue Coordination Centre at Falmouth. The Coast Guards are responsible for the coordination of civil maritime search and rescue. This includes the providing of assistance to persons in need of the assistance on the beaches, on the cliffs, on the coast, and in fact to any mariner at sea.
Are they safe? Are they above the high tide line? They are. Okay, and there's no way they can get up?
To ensure that we can do the job we've been tasked with, we are assisted by the Royal National Lifeboat Institution, who provide us with offshore and inshore lifeboats, by military aircraft, naval helicopters from the local air station at Culdrose, RAF helicopters from Chivener and North Devon, Nimrod aircraft, in fact, from Kinloss and Scotland if they're required. And we have 21 auxiliary Coast Guard rescue companies in our district.
Right, thank you very much. We'll have a Coast Guard cliff rescue team there very shortly. If you can reassure them, shout down to them and tell them that the team are on their way. They'll be with them within a very few minutes. Okay, so fine. Thank you very much for your call. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Perhaps our biggest problem is lack of information, where people perhaps don't know where they are, or someone's stuck on a cliff, but they're giving us the information second and sometimes third hand. However, a typical scenario of a family cut off by the tide on a cliff on the North Cornish coast, if they were not in immediate danger, then our reaction would be to send a cliff rescue team. This can be anywhere from 6 to 10 people who will collect a vehicle from a rescue store where we have cliff rescue company garages, for want of a better word, where we have a vehicle fully equipped with cliff rescue equipment. They'll collect that, head to the scene in radio communication with the operations room here, assess the situation when they get there, and if a rescue is required, they'll put out their gear, lay out their cliff lines, and a man will go over the cliff with all the safety equipment he needs to go to the people, put them in a strop or a sling, if you like, one at a time, and the chaps at the top will winch them up on a portable winch. If they need medical assistance, then of course we would have summoned an ambulance or whatever, perhaps the police to keep the crowd back. That happens sometimes, where crowds of holidaymakers gather and want to see what's going on and could be getting in the way. If the people were in immediate danger or had in fact fallen and were injured, then their response would probably be to send a helicopter. The nearest base from here is the Naval Air Base at Culdrose, where we have a helicopter on call to us at 15 minutes notice by day and 45 minutes notice by night. These times, in fact, are the outside limits. In fact, a helicopter, if we scrambled one now, would probably be airborne within 3 to 4 minutes.
Sierra 103, Roger, clear taxi, runway 19, QFE 1007.
That's 0 down, 1.
Take care.
The number of call-outs that we get for a year is fairly consistent, but there's obviously a peak period around holiday period, so around Easter time there are quite a few people. Around Easter time we have a lot of divers come down to this part of the world because the diving in the southwest is very good. So we quite often find ourselves looking for divers or assisting divers that are in trouble. The summer months are the busy months, June, July, August, when you have a lot of holiday makers down here, and we find ourselves perhaps doing 3 or 4 rescues a day, where rescue sounds a dramatic word. All we're doing is going out and helping somebody who would possibly get into more trouble if they were left on their own. So rescue sounds very dramatic. I mean, it's really assistance, offering assistance, I think, rather than rescuing them. The crew consists of 2 pilots. We have 2 pilots in the aircraft, mainly in case something goes wrong with the aircraft. But in the search and rescue role, it actually serves a double function in having 2 pilots, because we might well find ourselves operating in a cliff where it's easier for the pilot on the left-hand side of the aircraft to hover the aircraft, or the pilot on the right-hand side to hover it. The observer, who is an officer, usually a lieutenant, he navigates the aircraft, operates the radar, so he'll get us to the scene of an incident. We have 2 air crewmen, one who will stay in the aircraft and operate the winch, and the other one who is dressed in a wetsuit, and he is our diver who will jump from the aircraft to go and offer assistance in an upturned boat, for instance, or be winched down to the scene of somebody stuck on the cliff, if that's more appropriate. Once we have a casualty inside the aircraft, then the observer and their 2 air crewmen can offer first aid en route to hospital. I think it's important to stress that we are a part of the rescue organisation, and the RNLI and the lifeboats, particularly the inshore lifeboats, will answer a lot of the local calls, the swimmer in distress. Now obviously a lifeboat can't get to somebody on a cliff, so the Coast Guard have cliff rescue teams which are worked up and are capable of walking down or getting down to people stuck on the cliffs. If a situation goes badly wrong, or it's in a particularly difficult situation, it's quite common for the Coast Guard or the RNLI to request our assistance, and not so much because we are quick to get on the scene, because often they will let a situation will develop, and then after it's developed for a while they realise that perhaps they can't handle it, so they request our assistance, simply because it's a person that's in a particularly difficult situation, or perhaps they're injured and they feel that the person on the cliff would suffer less dramatic injury if they're airlifted rather than being hauled up the side of the cliff. How often do we get involved in those situations? Well, not nearly as frequently as the RNLI and Coast Guard get involved in this situation, so our call-outs are obviously a far smaller number.
Right, well, if we get a shout, usually the call will come from the Coast Guard station at Falmouth, who coordinate local rescue services in this area, We all carry radio pagers, so we'll get a bleep. The station honorary secretary, Captain Summerley, he will authorise the launch of the boat, or in his absence, his deputy, and all the crew will be alerted by the pager and also by maroons. We fire 2 explosive maroons to call the crew, and they'll come from whatever job or work they're doing, get here, and given a bit of luck, we'll get the boat away within 5 minutes. This station covers an area approximately from Porthcurno on the south coast, nearly up to Gurner's Head on the north coast, and halfway to the Scilly Isles in a west-southwest direction, and then a slot both to the south and to the northwest, quite a bit further off. So it's quite a considerable area, and it's right on a corner, which makes it strategic. And also, virtually whatever way the wind blows, there's an onshore wind in one part of our area. So it's quite a difficult patch, but everybody's patch on the right day is pretty difficult. What makes us do it? I don't know. It's a tradition. I think that's one thing. It's a tradition. It keeps the tradition going. It's a club. We enjoy it. That must be seen in context. We enjoy it. We're a team. We have, again, in context, a lot of fun on exercises, etc. Very, very occasionally, it's a great feeling to be able to go and save somebody's life. And also, a lot of us have spent a lot of time at sea, be it fishing or whatever, and we've been on the other end of it. Not literally, but there, but for the grace of God, several times.
The coastal incidents, which cause us a great deal of trouble, but that's what we're here for, take place usually from Easter to the end of the school holidays. Obviously, with holidaymakers come down to Cornwall, lovely place for holidays, and we get quite an influx of holidaymakers. Unfortunately, they're not perhaps as aware of the dangers there are on cliffs, and the sea itself, in fact, is a very dangerous place, so that they can come down here, hopefully have a lovely holiday and go home. But about 400 odd won't. There will be some sort of an incident or another, or maybe a simple little incident like they've been cut off by the tide and got stuck on a cliff, in which case we've had to go and rescue them.
Now, plainly, these tasks put my crews at risk, particularly when the weather is adverse or when closeness to obstructions like cliffs are involved. And so if I can ask you to be particularly careful when you're enjoying the countryside and the coastal walks and the beaches of Cornwall, that you use some self-discipline and make sure that you don't hazard yourselves unnecessarily, because each time that the search and rescue helicopter is called out, then my crews have to make an assessment about whether it's safe to fly and to rescue people, and that of course is a judgment call, and they often put themselves in a degree of risk in attempting to rescue other people. So I'm very keen that we minimize that chance.